Hey guys, welcome to the 2018 problem number 4, how it's done. The question involves reasoning about arrays of integers. You will write two static methods, both of which are in a class named array tester. So we're going to cut right here to the question to be implemented in part A. Once again, once you get to the part where it says to be implemented in a part, you should stop reading and go ahead to the question. So this says public static int with the brackets, get column, and it takes a two-dimensional array as its first parameter, and then it's going to take this int c. So let's see what they are. C is a valid column, and array two-dimensional is unchanged, is the post condition. It's going to return an array containing the element of column C. So one thing that we need to understand is that we need to return an array, a single array. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is make sure that we create an array to return. So write a static method getColumn, which returns a one-dimensional array containing the element of a single column in a two-dimensional array. So the element in the returned array should be in the same row as they appear, and the notations are row, column, and what's going to happen is you're going to pass through this two-dimensional array and which column you want. Because in this case we want a column 1, it's going to return 1475 as an array. They called the result, so why don't we call it result? So this is going to be fairly simple. So once again, here is our method header. Let me just get rid of this. Okay. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some kind of array to return. So I'm going to call it result because that's what they called it in the example. And I need to make sure that I put a size in here. Okay. So I know I have ARR2D, and I know that I want either a dot length or a 0 dot length, one or the other. So let me just make sure I know which one it is. So I go here and I say 1, 2, 3, 4. These are our rows. And even though we're trying to return the column, it's not dot 0. Okay, so here we're going to do dot length. I'm sorry, it's not ARR2D0 dot length, because the length is of the amount of rows. So this is what I'm going to return at the end. So I'm just going to put here return result. So at least you get some points for that. Okay, we know that in all arrays we're going to need a for loop. So how do I get this guy here? How do I get 1475? Okay, so I'll just do the for loop right here. I'm going to call it R again just for shorthand notation. And then R is less than. It's going to go down and R plus plus. And then I need to return this result. Now remember we said this is the guy at 0, 1, 2, 3. So he's your R. Now, if I go like this and I do array two-dimensional RC, well, what's going to happen here? Well, I only have, let's choose something else. I only have one for loop. In other words, the C is going to be consistent. It's going to stay. And you might say, well, what is the C? The C is being passed through the parameter just like 1 did. So what will happen here is it would go to, in this example, I would, just to show it out, it would be 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, and then 3, 1. And what that does is, if you think about it, row 0, column 1. Row 1, column 1, row 2, column 1, row 3, column 1. So this guy is actually being passed through and he stays consistent. Okay, so that is basically it. So just to rewrite it clean here, it's going to be for int r equals 0. R is less than array 2d dot length r plus plus. We're going to fill up this result and arr 2d rc, and once again this c is the column and that has to be stable. And that's how you do part A. So come back for part B in the next video.